All right, folks, we are doing the mailbag segment where you got questions. I may have answers. Put hashtag Lions in the comment section, and we will take your questions. We are starting right now. Hashtag Lions. Yeah. He says the trade deadline is November 5. Correctamundo. But I do believe that the Lions would make a trade before the Green Bay game. That is my prediction. It happens before the Green Bay game. After the Titans game. Don't know who they're going to get, but I do think it's going to happen. Does Tennessee have a guy that looks interesting? Harold Landry makes a lot of sense to me. Pass rusher. Lions, I'm sure, have called on it. I don't think it's going to be much. We face them. We have a good look at him, right? We have a good look at him on this game Sunday, so it makes sense you can look. That is one player I'd look at for the Titans. Next question here. I did hear that Emmanuel Mosley will be back on the field this season. Yes, Craig Hogg, you are correct. He's healing well. I just spoke about it, and he will be back. Hopefully, maybe he starts practicing. I don't know in a month or so. Hashtag Lions John. We have a ton of players needing extensions coming up in the next 2 years. Can we afford high-end defensive end and still be able to pay our guys? I do believe so. We could do. It depends what type of high-end you're talking about. The folks on the trade market, it's not really that high. If you look at their contracts, Myles Garrett is like $20 million. For the next couple years. That's actually doable. Same thing with Maxx Crosby. It's not really that high. Now, if you're wanting to do an extension, that's different. Question here. Lions, would you trade for Hooker if it helped us get Garrett or Crosby? Yeah. Dude, we have a chance to win a Super Bowl now. Yeah, 100%. Would you, amazing, Jonathan. Lions, would you see them trading for someone off of the Panthers? No, I don't really see. There's a wide receiver over there that the Panthers could trade away. The Lions don't need offense. We need defense. We need edge. Honestly, if we're going to trade, we need 2 edges, not just one. We need 2. It's all about edge at this point. Let's see. When is John Kaminsky coming back? Ooh, potentially at the end of the year. Potentially. Maybe the last 3 weeks of the season. If you were to think of that. Dan, Crosby isn't going anywhere, bud. Dan, Crosby isn't going anywhere. Let's see. Yes, maybe a 2-year deal. Let's see. Get that out of your head. Crosby is a Raider. He is a Raider right now. Let's see. Did you hear that Isaiah Williams was getting a lot of reps in practice? Do you think that you see him on the field? I didn't hear how much reps he could. Could he be on the field? Yeah, but probably not. It's going to be Allen Robinson's probably going to get a little bit more. That's the way that I would kind of see it. Let's see. Do you think that the Lions will trade for a notable edge? Really? Za'Darius Smith, I think probably is logical. You can look at like a Harold Landry too. I think it's going to be the B-rated players in my opinion. The second, not the high-end ones that a lot of people want. As much as I want those guys, and I do, and I'm going to do it until the trade deadline ends, I don't think that's going to occur. That's what I want. I just don't think it's going to occur. Do you see them to trade for Harold Landry or Jeffrey Simmons? I think Za'Darius Smith is probably the number one guy on the Lions' radar, just what I'm thinking here. Maybe Harold Landry. I'm sure they've called on Harold Landry. We'll see. But I think that's just the guy right now. Do you think they'll be willing to pull starters if they get 30-plus points? Hell yeah, I hope so. Living my Jeff life. If it's the fourth quarter and it's like 13 minutes left in the game and it's 38-10, yes, please pull the starters. Let them rest up. I don't know when Iffy is coming back and Broderick Martin as well. I have no update on that. Oh, why would they trade for Kupp? Are we good at... There's no reason to trade for Cooper Kupp. Why? I don't see a reason for it. Would you trade J-Mo for Crosby? They're not trading J-Mo. It's not going to happen. Do we rest guys against the Titans? If we're up by a mile, yeah. If they're not going to rest them. You have to be up by a mile. That's the way that they do it. If Matthew Stafford goes to the Vikings, we better on top edge rusher in the edge rusher dollar store. I heard that rumor that they potentially could trade for Matthew Stafford. I don't believe it. Look, if Stafford got traded to the Vikings, he would be hated big time in Detroit. I don't think that's going to happen. Can you give your thoughts on the Jets? They are going in the wrong direction. They're a bad football team, and you can put a lot of lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to do a full-on rebuild at some point. They went all in, and it failed, and it is what it is for that team, but they got to do a rebuild at some point. Do you feel like LaPorta is starting out slow because defenses are playing him better or just not doing a ton of plays for him? Well, Jared Goff has been perfect slinging the football. I think that there's so many weapons, that's why his is going down. The Lions' offense is moving. It's not like it's not moving. Goff is just going to throw to whoever's open. What up, Mike? Can you give my son Josh a shout-out? Shout-out to Josh, Ori Miller. Huge shout-out to you. Appreciate you listening. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Big shout-out to you, Josh. Do you think Netwowski has earned a contract for next season? I don't know. Maybe like a 1-year or 2-year deal, something like that. But remember, Derek Barnes is our guy as well. Derek Barnes has a chance to come back at the end of this season, so look on that. Hashtag Mike. So I heard the Lions are talking about getting Myles Garrett. Let me know in the comment section right now, would you trade for Myles Garrett? Look, I'm sure that they're attempting to get it. It's going to be extremely difficult to get that trade off. I wouldn't have my hopes up for getting Myles Garrett. I think it should be, if you're looking for a guy, it's probably going to be like a Za'Darius Smith. If they do it, I will do a backflip on here. I will be really excited. I want to get the A-plus guy. I don't think it's going to happen. I would be super excited. Just don't get your hopes up. What do you think about we would have to give up to get Landry? Maybe a 4th-round pick. I don't know. Something like that. I don't think it'd be too much. They're big-time sellers right now in Tennessee. They're not going anywhere, and they're about to get spanked on Sunday. Who knows? I don't think it's going to cost much at all. Crosby wants to be in the silver-black. He isn't going to be a Lion. Ian, a guy, good friends with Crosby, and this is what's reported on by John Macaron, Lions insider, says that was lipstick for his players in there. He has mutual interest to come to Detroit. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you think he's just all about the Raider and black, yes, but he would like to come to Detroit. I just don't think it's going to happen. Don't believe it's going to happen at all. Is Rakestraw a bust? What? Oh, no, he's not a bust. Who are you taking off the field? Are you going to take Terry and Arnold off the field? The question is yes or no. The answer is going to be no. Are you going to take Carlton Davis off the field? The answer is no. There you go. He's not a bust. Rakestraw is a 2nd-round pick. This is what happens when you're really good at talent on a football team. Players whom you've drafted are backups. And this is why I am an advocate for making a trade. I don't feel like every single player whom we have in this upcoming draft in April, the Lions with all their draft picks, right now they got about 7, I just don't believe all 7 will make the team because you have such good depth on this team. You got players like an Ennis Rakestraw, who's a backup. You have Broderick Martin, who was a 3rd-round pick last year. Even if he was healthy, he would still just be a rotational player. This is a great problem to have in Detroit, is because we've done so well with all these draft picks. That's the issue here. And so, no, he's not a bust. It's the Lions have drafted so damn good. When Carlton Davis went down for a couple plays, I'm just like, oh, well, Ennis is coming in. We lost Derek Barnes. That sucks. But our depth at linebacker is amazing, right? So this is what we have with our defense right now. Is yes, we have injuries, but the depth is really good, and we lose a guy and a guy come in. That's Ennis Rakestraw right now. He's not a bust at all. Do we extend Carlton Davis? Look, I would like to extend him. I don't know if they do because they do have Ennis Rakestraw. So they may not just because, well, it's the next man up, right? But Carlton Davis has done a pretty good job, if you ask me. I would do it, but I was trolling Maxx Crosby on Instagram with Detroit Lions post, and 4 days straight he was looking at my stories. Look, look, I believe John Macaron. I don't think he's a liar at all. I do believe what the guy from 97 won the ticket believe, and I do believe that when there's smoke, there's fire. I just don't know if I don't think it's possible it could happen. I just don't believe that the Raiders are going to trade him away. Micah Parsons is not a fit for Detroit. Not a fit at all. Does anybody, when you think of Micah Parsons, do you think the Dan Campbell type of guy? I don't think so. Is he gifted on the field? Yes. I don't see any way the Lions would trade for a Micah Parsons. He's having issues over there for Dallas. Hashtag Lions. Jake Bates won NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. From brick salesman to Player of the Week. Pretty cool. Yeah, I know. You're telling me, right? I mean, Jake Bates is awesome. Huge shout out to Jake Bates. Survivalist Amber, what's up? In the building. Appreciate you coming in here. Josh Jackson in the building. What's up, man? Craig Hogg, living my Jeff life. Love that name right there. Hashtag Lions, hashtag whatever. How about this? Hooker and JMO plus a second for Crosby. I don't see that happening at all. I really don't. Jameson Williams is not getting traded. It's just he is part of this team going forward. The Lions drafted him to be on this team. We heard about the trades. He got suspended. Look how well this offense is playing because you have him as the deep threat. No way Jameson Williams is getting traded. Everybody is loving what this offense is doing right now. You remove Jameson Williams, yeah, you can do it for a game or two, but the offense will slowly start to get back. So it's just like with Aiden Hutchinson. Right now, I think we can make up. Like, we beat the Vikings, right? We're going to win this game on Sunday, but at some point, other teams are going to adjust. And so you got to have a player that can get pass rush just besides blitz. We can make it through JMO, I think, through this Sunday and through next week. But if you're talking about trying to win a Super Bowl, do you see the Lions beating the Kansas City Chiefs without Jameson Williams? I don't see that occurring, right? Or do you see the Lions winning against the Baltimore Ravens? I don't see that occurring, and I think one of those teams is going to be in the Super Bowl. So we got to we got to stop thinking about just for the next 2 weeks and think about also till the Super Bowl, we're going to have Jameson Williams on this team. We're going to have to. And if the Lions make it to a Super Bowl, that's what we're hoping. Aiden Hutchinson, I do think, can return for a Super Bowl. I think he will. That is my bold prediction right now. If the Lions make the Super Bowl, Aiden Hutchinson's going to return for it. That is my bold prediction. And so you can have Aiden Hutchinson, but if you trade for a pass rusher, whoever you're going to get, it would probably be that if you could make it to the Super Bowl, it's that guy plus Aiden Hutchinson, and you still have Jameson Williams. You're going to have all these guys. It's not just about winning the NFC. It's also about winning the big game, and we need all the players that we can do that. We need them all. So the Jameson Williams absolutely is not going to be traded. Master with the game winner, 100%. He was the game winner, and that makes us all feel happy.